Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Kakadash. Double honor said bosses and elders of Great Millstone. Excuse me. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. Just going through some spiritual thoughts, you know, out on the daily grind. And I should have cut the camera on sooner, because what you see when you drive through all these countryside roads and all these back roads and shit is construction. And of course, we know this is the Roman Empire reincarnated. You know, they even took the language and retweaked it and came up with English. And then all the things that happened in Rome are happening here. You know, you had what? The Israelites, we were captive in Rome. We were slaves in Rome. That wasn't the same level of slavery as it is here, but we were still slaves. We were still subject to payments under the Roman Empire, just like this society was subject to payments. You know, you gotta pay your taxes, pay all that stuff, do all this paperwork. You might get a ticket on something. You know, you gotta go and like Jake always say, you gotta fight this. You gotta go through the system. You gotta do things according to the way this man does it. And that's one of the reasons that the scriptures talk about. Look, don't put your you know, the love for this world means you don't have love for the Most High. You know, because basically this world is given to the wicked, which is Esau. You know, it's been given to him. You know, you look at all the different things, the creations, the inventions, and just like the scripture says, look, I have created the smith. You got different kind of smiths. You got metal smiths. You got smiths who deal with, you know, you got different kind of smiths. Wood smiths, silver smiths. And this man, one thing about him, the Lord did give them, they gave him that crooked mind, that inventive mind. Okay, just like a parallel for Esau, of course, you know, Marvel Comics, you got Thor, and you got Loki. And you know, Loki's kind of he's the snake. He's the scraggly guy, but he has that inventiveness, that cleverness. You know, if Thor don't pay attention, then, you know, Loki will try to get over on him, that kind of shit. Well, that's how this man is. That shit. You can say Thor is represents Israel, kind of, sort of. But back to what I was saying about the roads all going down through here. I must have seen at least 5 or 6 road construction sites. And if you know anything about doing construction of roadways, that stuff costs money. And all through, and this is just, you know, I may have been a couple hundred, maybe 100 miles, 200 miles, 300 miles maybe today. I think it's like 300 or something like that. But the U.S. all across the whole stretch, I believe it's about 4,000, 3,000, 4,000 miles. And you know, if I'm just seeing all those construction stops, not even stops, but, you know, construction sites, you know, construction zones. And I've been to about a 3-mile, shit, not even that. I've been inside of a 2-mile radius, and I've seen all these construction sites. 2-hour radius, which is about about 150 miles, about 200 miles. So the point being, if I'm seeing all of that in just a 200-mile radius, how many construction sites is it? 3,000 miles wide, and then I don't know how from bottom to top, but that's probably about 2,000 miles. How many roadways are in there that connect people, that get people from point A to point B? All of these roadways and places, and in the Israelite community, the black community, or whatever, Native American, Reds, or whatever you go to, this Latino community. Of course, they're not going to redo the roads as much because people aren't making as much money. And so that's already tattered and worn down and full of potholes. And so, just imagine when in that day when you can't fix these roads anymore, they run out of that money. Because, every day, you get in a routine, you wake up, you go to work, you come home, you're supposed to get into the scriptures, all of that. You have all of your side things that you do, and all of that time, all these different elements that are placed out here to to assist people. All of this stuff is wearing down over time. They have to rebuild it. They have to build it up. And when they initially built this shit, because at a certain point, many years ago, for me to go where I was at to St. Louis, you had to take, of course, Route 66. And to get there, you'd have to ride through this small town, then ride through this small town, then ride through this next small town. And I should have looked that up, Salakia. But at a certain point, they started to put these major highways in there. And so these little small towns, they weren't making as much money anymore because people weren't passing through. People pass through and they get them something to eat, or they stop at some museum or something like that. Nobody's doing that anymore. So what are these little small towns having to do? They're having to bring in these franchises. They're having to bring in all these different businesses and try to scrap something together. And you might have a little town of a couple thousand Edomites. They might have 1, 2, or maybe a handful of businesses. And so, like the scriptures talk about, basically, this place can easily be shattered. These Edomites have been given all this power, this dominion, this rulership over the earth. They haven't been able to master certain parts of the earth, get to certain parts of the earth. I believe the scriptures say that too. This man he's at the end. He went to the end of his dominion or something like that. Certain parts underwater they still can't get to. And just like they're making this next Godzilla movie, where they're showing different parts and different undisclosed locations. And this man is doing everything in his power, just like with the space station thing. They're talking about, well, look, we got to go to Mars, we got to do all of this. Well, wait a minute. The scriptures talk about Esau, the wicked, their sins being stacked high unto heaven. Before, if these were the people of God, aren't they supposed to spread the message of the Lord all over the earth? Aren't the other nations supposed to come? The other nations do serve this place, but slowly and slowly, they're locking together. They're surpassing America. It's locking that camera gonna keep getting off too. But these other nations, slowly and slowly, they're surpassing America. They're able to come over here, start a business, set up business. And that's, I believe it says that in Revelations as well. The merchants shall weep because they can no longer sell their merchandise. Because in their country, they might be able to sell something but they have to sell it at a set price because they have to follow after their particular rulership. You know, you go into the Arabic world, they can sell things, but like I said, they have to sell them at a set price. And then they have to give a certain amount of money up to their leader. It might be a sheik or it might be whoever. You know, in Japan, you got they still have the Yakuza, and they still are like a corporate entity or whatever. So this place, America, it is that place. That's the point. And the merchants are gonna weep as well, once again, because they can't come here, they can't make money. You know, they can come here and they can become Americanized. They can follow after the Americans. They can post the selfies. They can drink the wine of Babylon, basically. And when you look at the standard and the minds of these people, you know, these people come here, and that's one of the ways we know that they plotted against Israel. They don't give any nod to the work that so-called Black, Native American, and Latino people have done. They don't give any nod to our history or who we are or who we were. They don't give any kind of respect to that. You know, and a lot of them, they know we're Israelites. They don't even tell us. And that's another reason this place is going to be destroyed. Because all of these nations, we go back into the early books of the Bible, we came into contact with all of these nations, okay? Every last one of them. And a lot of them, they still have the records of dealing with Israel, right? Just like they found the Moabite stone, and it had that writing on it, and it had the ancient Hebrew, or so I think it's the so-called Assyrian Hebrew, or maybe it was a Phoenician Hebrew, but it was one of those Hebrews, and then they had some other writing on it as well. Well, we know Moab to be the modern day Chinese. Okay, and a lot of the Arabs, which so-called Ishmaelites, they know that we're the sons of Jacob. That's why you tell them. I know in St. Louis, it's a lot of them. It's a lot of Ishmaelites. It's a lot of Cushites as well, and it's a lot of Amalekites. And you know, one thing about these so-called Amalekites, we know they pretend to be us. They'll never talk about their interactions with these other nations dating back to the Bible, because they were never able to figure out who these other people were. They were never able to do that. The scriptures talk about the secrets are given to my servants the prophets. Now they were able to, if you go into a Zondervan's, they're able to tell you some of these people are in the modern day. They're able to tell you like the Germans and some of these other ones, which a lot of that stuff has changed as well, because a lot of those people used to be Japhetic people. And they were pushed out by Esau, but they're not able to pinpoint who these different nations are. And also, Ezekiel 37, they're not able to tell you who every tribe is on that sign, right? It talks about make a stick and then link Israel to Judah and his friends, and then it's supposed to be given who those people are. It's supposed to be given. So it's just something to reconfirm, you know, what we already know, man. Different little spiritual things I was thinking over, you know, and the thing about it, man, the scriptures talk about, you know, don't put your hand to the plow and look back, and the reason you can't do that, and you know, these so-called Jews, they do that all the time. You see, we've met all kind of people, and I've met all kind of people who, you know, they grew up in the synagogue, and they grew up in the so-called church. They grew up, you know, learning about Jewish history, but then they went on to do something else. But if they were really for the truth that the Bible speaks about, they should be trying to spread the word to the Gentiles, because that's what the scripture's about, Will. You know, a lot of those Amalekites, they only deal with the Torah, they don't deal with the New Testament. But if they were really about that, they should be able to break down everything in the Torah. They can't even break everything down in the Torah. And hell, the Apocrypha, they can't even go to the Apocrypha books, and they can't even link those up to the scriptures. But they'll follow Hanukkah, which Hanukkah goes back to the time of the Maccabees, I believe. So, if they were really given the word, they should be able to reaffirm what they know with the scriptures, and they should be able to push that. But they don't push that. They push a lot of other shit that has nothing to do with pertaining to the scriptures. You know, they do read the scriptures, but they weren't given all the answers. The only people who have ever came up with all of the answers in the Bible are the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, the scriptures doesn't refer to us as Hebrew Israelites, but we know we're the Hebrews and then we're the sons of Israel. So that together is Hebrew and Israelite. Because you got Hebrew Edomites, you got Hebrew Ammonites, Hebrew Moabites. No, we're the Israelites. So, hey, I'm about to get to my next stop here, though. You know, these Edomites, you know, they pride themselves. They really do. They pride themselves. And this is, hey, going back to that merchant thing. You go online, they got that's who's making money right now. Merchant stores, Amazon, Craigslist, all these different merchant stores, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Walmart, merchandising. That's how you make money. You merchandise something. But you're not supposed to, of course, you're not supposed to make merchandise in the house of the Lord. And that's another reason that the merchants were well, because they could just jump into the market. These other nations, they can jump online, jump into the market. They can start selling you some cheap Chinese bullshit, and they can start making some real money on the side. You know, whereas they would have went into a job and got paid fucking, you know, $20 a month or whatever the hell they're getting paid in China. Now they can jump online, jump onto the market, and they can really make some real money merchandising shit off of American citizens. And in America, being stupid, they put all the factories in these other countries, so they have the they have the original parts, they have the original plans to make the item, they have all that stuff. Yep, but even though they have all of that stuff, they hold all of the cards. They got all the money. They got all the riches they stole from us. What do the scriptures say? Because of great violence, the kingdom is transferred from one people to another. And those people are going to be who? Israel, according to the Bible. And so with that being said, all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rakakadash, Double Honor Sepasi, that's Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to you sincere brothers out there pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. If you're new to this, if you're just coming into the faith, you know, continue to watch the videos, continue to read, continue to pray, and the Lord will sup with you. And then get to a camp that's in your location, wherever your hometown might be. You need to find the closest camp. You know, the top camp, of course, is GMS. It's Great Millstone. And hell, if they don't have one, pray to the Lord. The Lord might have you to create a camp. So, that being said, all praise to Yahweh, Shem El Shabbat, Shem Shalom.